Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome if you are new. My name is Gwen and this is Home to Inspire DIY and Decor. Today I'm sharing some really cute and fun DIYs for your furry friends. Let's get on with these projects. So I'm using these little wood cutouts in the shape of animal faces, and these were from Michaels. I picked these up last year, never got around to doing anything with them, so I decided why not create some really cute ornaments or decor for your little pets. So this one is in the shape of a cat, as you can see. I first took this color chestnut brown by Apple Barrel and gave this a good couple coats. If you haven't already guessed, I am making some gingerbread style ornaments using these little wood cutouts. I have a lot of gingerbread type decor, so that's why I decided to go with this theme. I also thought that with the shape cutouts, it would make a really cute gingerbread cookie looking type of ornament. I also found this ribbon, which is a really cute rickrack style ribbon from Joann's. It's in this really cute tan and cream color, perfect for creating like that full icing look. So in lieu of using like puffy paint or white paint to create your fake icing, this is perfect to use for that reason. And I really love like the overall look that it gave. It just gave it like that nice, cute little cookie design. At least I think so. But if you don't like the look of this ribbon and you wanted to use like white and make something look more like a icing, then definitely use, what you want to use and that might look good to you. Puffy paint is always a good option, as well as white paint, or you can even use like a paint marker. But I thought this would make a very nice and interesting look. So next thing I did was took these little mini gingerbread cutouts from Dollar Tree, and they came in a pack. I just painted it in the crimson color red by Waverly and added a little hot glue while the paint was wet, and then doused it with this thick pack of glitter. This also came from Dollar Tree. It came like in a 3-pack of different types of like glitter, sequins, fillers, that sort of thing. The next thing I did was I took this thin red and white ribbon from Joann's, really cute, and I was deciding on the type of ribbon or bow I wanted to create. Usually my go-to is like a shoestring bow, keeping it simple. But this time around I decided I'm going to make like a double strand or double loop bow. So all I did was took a piece and measuring out the size I wanted my loops to be, just sort of overlap the bows across each other, making sure that you leave tails on either side, and then tying it down the center with a piece of jute string. And that was pretty much it for that really simple double loop style bow. And I didn't do any dovetail edges or anything like that. I just did a slant cut on each side. Now, as you can see, I did add like that gingerbread sticker on the face of that cat. Just ignore that because that will be removed. I put that there because essentially I was just trying to get an idea of how I wanted to decorate this, and that was sort of my space filler just to see if that's how I wanted to do my DIYs, but I decided against it, and you'll see that here shortly. Next up, I took these little snow pellets or balls that came from Hobby Lobby, and these are not pom-poms, they're stiffer, and I used them to embellish the outer edges of this sign. I also took a little peppermint candy as well, also from Hobby Lobby. The next thing I did was hot glued my pieces down. I decided to go with hot gluing the embellishments to one side, to one ear of this cat. And I really liked how that was looking. I then took my IOD stamps, and this is in the letterpress. It comes with a variety of fonts in this pack. So for this one, I decided to use this particular font right here that you see. I'm spelling out the name of my cat, Cheeto, and I didn't want to directly stamp onto the wood because the brown color was rather dark, and I was just afraid that the black just wouldn't, come across too well, like as far as being too clear or visible. And I really did want that name to, pop against that gingerbread cutout. So I opted to use a piece of muslin fabric, and this is from Hobby Lobby. No, I'm sorry, it is from Joann's. And all I did to get that frayed edge was just to cut a slit in the corner, and then just using a downward tearing motion, I just created that frayed edge. And then you can get this look right here. But if you're looking more for a cleaner line, you can definitely just cut straight lines and leave it as is. It's totally up to you. So as you can see, I decided to hot glue my word or my name down, and I didn't really like how that came out in the end. I mean, it's okay, but I would definitely advise you to not use hot glue when you're gluing down your fabric pieces. I knew that this was going to happen, but I was sort of like in a rush in that moment. This was my first DIY for this video, so you know what they say, it's like hindsight is 2020, and I glued that down, but then realized I shouldn't have done that, because you do get like the bumpiness coming across through the fabric, especially since it is thin. So you'll see later what I did differently with the other DIYs. Next, I took like this rusty jingle bell from Joann's, just cut off the one that I wanted to use. It did come in various sizes, and just loop that into that little hanger that I created. And then I created a knot at the top just to make sure that the bell did not go anywhere. And that was just a perfect little hanger for this little sign for my kitty. Hope you guys like that one. Let's move on to a next project, and this one is for my little dog. So I did pretty much the same steps. I painted this in chestnut brown, and then I'm essentially doing the same idea, same steps, everything. You'll see that they only looked a little differently from each other because of the way I might have embellished it, or where I might have placed certain things on the decor piece or on the ornament. But the principle is the same. The process is pretty much the same. So I hope you stick with me till the very end, even though the steps are pretty much identical to each other. Because as I mentioned, they do slightly differ, and I might have different information as I'm going along in this video that might be helpful to you if you decide to recreate these DIYs. And right here, when you reach like the transitional areas, like those little edges where they kind of turn into different directions, I like to flip my rickrack ribbon the opposite direction. That way you have more of a flat edge, and that way you're not having to, you know, loop it around too much to where like it's creating like this bumpiness. So that's an advice I have for you, is right there. As you can see, I just sort of, instead of keeping in the same direction when you're going through those little corners and transitions, you're going to want to flip your ribbon to the opposite direction and then hot glue those down, just so that you have them laying flat. So that is an advice I have when you're hot gluing your ribbon down. And I didn't mention that in the first DIY, but that's exactly what I did. So stick with me to the end so that you can see the final reveal. I think these all came out super adorable, perfect for your tree, especially when you're trying to incorporate like your furry loved ones into your Christmas decorating. You can also use this as like just wall decor, or maybe wherever you hang like their stocking, their Christmas stocking, you can place this right above, and it's like their little name card, or you know, that type of thing. I just think these came out super adorable. I think that they came out looking just like gingerbread. I hope you guys like these as much as I do. So right there, I made the same style ribbon, just creating that double loop. But this time I kept the tails facing downwards, and then I did add a jingle bell to the center of that one. And then I did the same thing as I did with the first to that little mini gingerbread. So here's where I did my gluing differently with that little name. I took some Aleene's tacky glue this time, and I just rubbed that liberally over the entire fabric piece. This worked out a lot better in my opinion. It just has more of a cleaner look. You have it where it's more secure and everything is glued securely down onto your wood piece. So this is the way that I would recommend for you if you decide that you wanted to recreate this. And I did the same thing. I used those snow pellets and glued them all around. And this time I took an unfinished larger wood bead and strung that through this red and white ribbon, creating that little loop at the top for my hanger, and then hot gluing down the tails. And then you could also hot glue another piece of fabric over the tops of the tails just for the extra added security. And I think this one came out super perfect as well. So cute and adorable. I just love how these turned out. And now it's on to DIY number 3. So this one is in memory of my cat Precious, who is no longer with us. She passed like a year and a half ago, but I wanted to still make one of these for her. We love that cat so much, and we really miss her. But this one is for Precious. So again, I'm just doing everything pretty much the same way as I did. Now you can, make your starting point in any direction. So if you wanted to start from the bottom and work your way up, that's totally up to you. I just decided to work my way down, just starting with the point. But right here, I did glue a little too high, but you'll see later that I did peel that back and then just start off a little bit lower, because you'll see that you can't have your ribbon starting from the very top or the point of that ear, because you are trying to outline this, leaving a little space at the top just for the brown color to come through. So you'll see that I will have to unglue or remove that corner right there and shorten it up a bit and then just connect it. So it's such an easy fix. So if you mess up like I did, no need to worry. Super easy. That's sort of like the good thing about using hot glue, because it's a mess sometimes, but sometimes it is a lot easier to remove. So here, this is something I did differently than with the other two. I took these cute little sprinkles, and this is like in the little peppermint red and white style. And I took the little round peppermint candy looking ones as well as the sprinkles, and just hot glued those down over the top of the rickrack fabric or rickrack ribbon. And I used it with the help of my little scissors because they are super tiny. It's a little bit hard to get a grip on them without them like rolling everywhere. So then I used my other hand to just sort of place the hot glue wherever I wanted these to be. And that was just a nice little added touch and made it just look slightly different than the others. And then I did the same thing, added these little snow pellets all over wherever I wanted that look and that contrast. And then this time around with Precious' name, I used a different font. So still coming from the same letterpress pack of IOD stamps, I just went with it's like a thinner or skinnier font from the pack. And the reason I did that is because I use like a shorter piece of muslin fabric, and it would not allow for the first font that I used to fit across this. So I did have to use the skinnier font to spell out her name. And it turned out just fine. It came out really, really nice. And I did forget to mention as well that all I did was use ink pads. It's called Stays On, and I just used it in the dark brown. And there it is. Super easy. I just use like this thin mount to connect all of my stamp pieces, and it makes it easier to place over whatever it is that you're stamping on. And then I decided to add a bigger jingle bell. This time around, it's going to be at the top of that ribbon hanger instead of it laying down at the bottom, or it's not going to be laying on top of the bow that I'm going to create. So this is where you can get more creative to differentiate all of your DIYs, although they all follow the same types of steps and they all have a similar look to them. You can definitely customize each piece just by tweaking little, designs and embellishments here and there. So, that's just a way to make everything look cohesive and still coordinate with each other, but still have its own distinctive look to them. So here I'm just gonna have where that jingle bell will be at the top. So when you hang this, it's gonna sit up at the top. And then just hot glued my ribbon tails down and then added another piece of ribbon across just for extra added measure, and so on and so forth. Again, I love how this one came out. Super cute. I can't wait to decorate with these once I have my tree up and exactly where I'm going to place these. So next it was time to hot glue my name piece down using Aleene's tacky glue, and then just rubbing that on liberally over across the entire fabric backing. So here it is coming together. And if you are loving these DIYs, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Now it's on to the fourth and final DIY. I am creating another one of these doggy signs for my parents' dog. So first thing I did was remove the hanging jute twine. And this time around, I'm going to use some scrapbook paper, which I will then glue on top of this wood cutout. I chose this cute little vintage Santa design. And full disclosure, my original idea for all of these DIYs was to use scrapbook paper and vinyl decals. But I had a little bit of a mishap with the first DIY. When I did use some of this scrapbook paper and tried to burnish the vinyl decal with the pet's name on it, for some reason or another, the transfer would not happen. So the word would not transfer onto the paper. It was really difficult to get the decal off of the transfer paper. And it was my first time using the Dollar Tree transfer paper, so I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it, which I have a feeling it did. So long story short, it was a disaster. I had to scrap that idea, and this is the only one that survived, and I decided to just keep with this one since this will be gifted to my mom. So this is their dog's name, Chocobee. So in order to stamp this on and allow for the name to pop against that busy scrapbook paper. I did have to use like a lighter backing or paper. In this case, I'm using a scrap piece of corrugated paper. You can use like any type of light colored scrapbook paper, cardstock, even fabric piece, but I thought this would be a nice contrast and add some texture. And I'm also using some Stays On ink, also using the letterpress and then spelling out his name. So this was super easy as well to do. And again, my whole idea for this entire video was to use scrapbook paper, various types of scrapbook paper. That would have been a really nice outcome had it, you know, started off on the right foot. And, you know, if I had not ruined like a couple of the decals that I made trying to get that name to transfer. But it's okay. It all turned out just fine with this direction that I decided to go with. And this one is super cute. All I did was hot glue the edges of that corrugated paper and dipped it into some of that same red colored glitter just for that nice pop of red. And then I used like this red and white candy cane style ribbon and made a simple shoestring bow and knotting it with a piece of jute twine, and then adding a gold jingle bell to the middle. I also used that same ribbon to create a hanger for this piece, and I think this came out super cute. I really like it, and again, it would have been fun to see all of these come out looking in different ways with different patterns and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I am happy with the choice I made to go with plan B, and that is to create those gingerbread looking, you know, animal ornaments or decor. And it just fits in with my style overall since I am decorating with that theme. So it all works out in the end, and I really love the outcome of everything. And this just goes to show you that if you run into any problems and your original idea wasn't panning out, don't give up. You know, just keep pushing forward. Go with your plan B, or I'm sure you can find a way to salvage your piece. And if you can't, you know, if you have a different idea for it, just go for that and don't give up. Like, it's going to come out fine in the end. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. And I know sometimes, you know, we strive for perfection and, you know, everything in its place and all of that good stuff. But crafting should be fun and definitely relaxing and stress-free, because I think a lot of us do this just for that, the simple pleasure of just getting away, using our creative minds and everything, and just go with the flow and don't be too hard on yourself, and everything will come out just fine. I mean, look at this. It came out super cute. It looks different from the rest, which is perfect, and it is a gift from my parents, so it's all good. Let's take a final look at all these projects. Here is how they all came out. I am super pleased. They came out adorable. Those are going to look perfect in my home. Just placed maybe throughout my tree, possibly on the wall with like stockings underneath it or something. We'll see how it goes. But let me know in the comments down below if you like these ideas and if you would possibly try making one of these for your furry loved ones. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you as part of my YouTube family. And thanks to all my subscribers and returning viewers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one.